you cannot generalize about effectiveness. Short-term effectiveness happens to be almost exactly the opposite of long-term effectiveness. And unless we understand how these two work and pull us in different directions, then effectiveness is an incredibly complex issue. Brand building is the primary driver of long-term growth. But in recent years, of course, all the excitement has been around the sales activation model, often data-driven in the current era, where what we are essentially doing is serving behavioral prompts to people. A reason why ad that will nudge us to go and buy the brand now. Now these, of course, can generate very powerful short-term effects. They can really make us want to go and buy now, but they decay very, very rapidly.
What we have constantly had over the years is people coming up to us and saying, yeah, but my brand's different. You know, the rules don't apply to me. I'm an online brand, I'm a retailer, I'm a premium brand, that kind of thing.
So for many years now, Les and I have been mining the IPA data in order to ascertain how to make campaigns more effective. And one recurring theme over many years has been the idea of balance between what we do for the long term and what we do for the short term.
The 60-40 rule, as we put it, which talks about 60% brand, 40% activation, that's slightly different for different brands in different situations. Brand and activation work in synergy, and they need to be balanced. But that balance is different for different brands in different contexts. And the new book examines the many different factors that influence that balance. Our book's called Effectiveness in Context, and we look at the rules of marketing in different contexts. And by that I mean, what sector are you in? How do people make the purchase decision? How do people buy the product? Is the product a new product, or is it something more mature and familiar? Is the brand a new brand, or is it a brand that sort of is very familiar? Is it a big brand? Is it a small brand? Is it an expensive brand? Is it a premium brand? All these things, all these different factors, we call them context.
We noticed that there were some significant differences between context, sweet spots. But we at first had no real idea why that was the case. But I think the surprising thing was that the guiding principle for balance turns out to be really quite simple and precisely the opposite of what most people would expect.
It was surprising at first, but it became obvious with hindsight, is this idea that when activation works really well, you don't have to spend so much on it. And eventually, once we'd thought this through, it kind of made sense. But it's certainly not intuitive, and it's certainly not the lesson that most marketers have taken. So in areas where activation works really well, marketers tend to see that and go, I'll put more money into that. In fact, they've taken the wrong lesson out.
So I do often come over as a rather pessimistic sort, and I'm aware of that. But actually there is more than a little reason to be optimistic, because what we're seeing around the world, I think, is the beginnings of a counter trend. There is a growing realization amongst blue chip marketers that they have made more than a few mistakes in recent years. Think seriously about the context of your brand and try and get yourself to the sweet spot that we're advocating. We're seeing more and more businesses around the world who have followed our guidelines and have had enormous success off the back of it.